Life of an Average Joe podcast. Happy spooky season. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. My eyes are watery. Look at that. Ugh. Because of allergies and I'm tired and still in the trenches, guys. The trenches have not gone away from last week. So, matter of fact, tomorrow's a big trench. By the time you guys listen to this show, not technically tomorrow when I'm recording this, but by the time you guys listen to this, I have so much to do in October. October 1st with this debut or October 2nd. I don't remember. That Thursday. So that would be the 2nd. I got a doctor's appointment. I got a couple things I got to do, but I'm going to not talk about it today. Look, it's time to reset the mind. It's time to focus. It's time to be positive, and everything's going to be okay as long as I do what I got to do, right? Everything's going to be okay. But we're in spooky season, guys. That means I have started watching my horror movies as of yesterday. By the time you listen to this, I can tell you what I've watched. Marvel Zombies, to kick it off, is a big one. I've also watched The Blackening, Unhuman, a couple other things. So I'm full swing spooky season. I love this time of year for that. I love the weather changes, although it's still kind of warm. I love getting ready for Halloween and binge watching movies and just really unplugging and hanging out. It's also a really busy time at work. It's even more busy than what it is now, or what it normally is, and that's fine. Like I said, the trenches, the stress of finances and life and bills and trying to get a new car and all that stuff is still there. Um, it's just time to focus. It's just time to be positive about everything and just do what I got to do to make sure things work, and get on track. And I'll be all right. But spooky season is so fun. And I wanted to do this episode as we dive into it because this whole month, the episodes are all going to be centered around spooky season, from movies to hauntings to Halloween parties I've had. Just great things. One Halloween party in particular, it was a very odd night, and we're going to talk about that next week. But I wanted to kind of set the tone, and I was thinking about like things for Luke and I to do this Halloween, and I want to go to at least one thing. And there's this Dallas Pumpkin Festival or Dallas Pumpkin Lights Trail that looks pretty cool. You go at night and it's this illuminated pumpkins, and you go down the trail and there's smoke. It's not a scary thing. It's not a horror thing, but it is like a pumpkin event. Seems kind of cool. But then I was also like, you know what? There is a haunted trail, a haunted house type vibe, and I'm thinking of doing a little investigating on that and getting tickets for Luke and I to go to that. I don't know if it's going to be too scary or not. I need to find out because Luke is in that phase, and he's my son. He wants to watch scary stuff. I mean, he named his fish Mike, and his nickname is Michael Myers. So granted, his real name is, his nickname is longer than his short, real name, but whatever. Um, you know, he's got a Michael Myers cup that he drinks for Halloween. We have our Halloween water bottles. He's already got his costume. We bought his costume at the end of August. I'm the one that just recently got mine, and I won't reveal that just yet. That'll be on the last show before Halloween. But he's into, we're watching, I don't let him watch specific movies. Now, his mom let him watch Pet Sematary, the OG one. I personally wouldn't have let him do that. That's just me. He's very into Ghostface. That's who he was last year. But I'm not going to let him watch Scream. He watched Shaun of the Dead with me last year. Loved it. He's excited to watch Megan 2 this year, Five Nights at Freddy's, and what? I think there was another movie that he's excited to watch this year. And that's kind of where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let him watch, like, I don't think he needs to watch Scream and seen a bunch of, flesh so to speak, and then people just getting unalived like that. It's not good for his head. It just, he's developing still. He can't comprehend that. I don't think he needs to do it. Why bother? Let's just wait. So I'm interested in like how scary is this trail? Somebody said they took their 10-year-old and it was fine, and they were like, there were some jump out moments, but it was more just creepy and not like, completely over the top. But I don't know that 10-year-old. Every kid's different. So I want to see. I mean, this is the same kid that went to Disney. We went on those roller coasters. And yeah, he got scared. He cried on one of them in the beginning, and I almost got off. But he said, let's do it. And then he talked about it forever. So I'm never going to force him to do something that he doesn't want to do. But we're looking at some options to have a Halloween something. We're going to do the pumpkins next week. We're going to, because I'm behind on that. We are going to, I'm almost done decorating. Guys, I'm behind on decorating this year. This is the first year I'm behind on decorating. So I'll finish that up tomorrow before I go to my appointment. So that'll be cool. And then there's a couple other things that we got to do to get this house in order. Usually by October 1st, everything's out. I'm not done yet. So between today, when I get off this, and then tomorrow, I'll get the decorating done. What's left. But I've been thinking about doing one extra event, as every year we have spooky season. I mean, I buy napkins. I buy like the Halloween napkins, paper plates, treats, like all like little pumpkins, little Debbie pumpkins, little Debbie like skulls. Like I buy all year long. Like when I'm packing his lunches, he gets a Halloween napkin or a Day of the Dead napkin. Like we're drinking out of our Halloween water bottles or our skull cups, and every coffee cup I have is, something related to Halloween. I drink it every day. And we go all out, man. We embrace the holiday, and so movies are part of it, snacks, even the trays. My snack trays are like skulls and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. And it got me thinking about like trick or treating. Like I always wonder how trick or treating is going to be this year, because I've seen certain subdivisions where it's kind of tapered off. As the kids get older, not many people go to that subdivision. I remember when my grandma and papa, I was young, and at their subdivision, there were several times that we actually went to my grandma and papa's house when I was younger to go trick or treating. They had an older developed subdivision, and there was some bougier money in there at times, certain parts of it. And we were getting like full-size candy bars. My grandma and papa always handed out candy, always. And we when they got older, they would still do it, but usually one of, my uncles would come over and help them out, but they still did it. But we would get full-size candy bars. Man, there was a time I would go and they put dollar bills. I got dollar bills in the trick-or-treat bag. It'd be like a bag, a little bit of candy, maybe some stickers, and a dollar bill. You always get a couple quarters or change, but I was like, $1 and a full-size candy bar? Now you got to think, this is back like late mid-80s. Bro, full-size candy bar and $1. I could fill up my gas tank with that, if I could drive. So I think about that. So I'm always wondering, like, what's this year's Halloween going to be? Last year was great. Like Luke got loaded up. And then I love how there's houses out there that do things for the parents as well. Not every house, but there was a couple tables last year where you'd have like the kids stuff, the goodies, and then you'd have parent stuff. And there was like Jello shots, mini bottles of wine, mini bottles of liquor. This girl had a bar, full bar, little tiny mobile bar. What do you want? You want a shot? Or do you want a little rum and Coke? And she'd have this little Coke, rum, here you go. You can take a little cocktail on the road. Kids, there was apples, there was snacks, and then the candy on top of it. I love when people embrace. Is this thing? Yes. I love when people embrace any holiday, whatever that might be, and really make it fun for everybody, because Halloween is a fun time, in my opinion, for everybody. I think it's one of those things that you know, we all can really get behind. We all can really truly embrace. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen this year. I'm curious to see. Let's see, it's Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So I think we're going to get, you never know what the weather's going to be like. Most likely hot, but there was always a chance that it could rain. It rained last year during the day and then sprinkled that night, but it was beautiful. But there's been other years it was in the 80s, and that just sucks when you're walking. Like, I want it to be like 70. 70's fine for the kids. Michigan's a little different, but down here 70's fine. Kids are in costumes and whatever. I'm seeing a lot more Halloween stuff put up later at stores. I noticed that Target put up their Halloween stuff a lot later than usual, which I thought was interesting. You still have the Walmarts and Home Depots and Costco's that throw it up way too early, but I did notice that the Halloween decorations at Target were up a little bit later, so that was kind of cool. I'm very interested to see, and kind of what the streaming services are doing. Disney has Huluween, which has their, well, Disney and Hulu are together, but they have their Disney Channel horror spooky stuff, which has like The Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, which are my favorite. So all the Treehouse of Horrors are separated, and you can go to the Simpsons category and watch every Treehouse of Horror without having to go to the season to find that episode. I think that's super cool. They also have, like Nightmare Before Christmas and some of the Halloween shows, and then some of the Disney shows on the Disney Channel. Now, Hulu has Huluween, and it breaks it down in different categories. I just saw that HBO Max has got a collection now, which is good because they're about to drop the new Pennywise It prequel series, which I think is going to be great. It's supposed to span over 3 different decades. So that's exciting. Amazon Prime, which has probably the weakest, still has a lot of movies. And you can go to that category and start to watch them. But I'm curious to see what other movies and shows are going to pop up. AMC always does a great job on Halloween. There are not a lot of horror movies to go see in the movie theater, which I always think it's weird around October that the ones that do come out, they're like, oh, we're going to come out in September or August or I don't know, November. And I'm like, how did you not time this? Because I think like 28 years later, The Bone Temple, the second part of the 28 years, 28 days later series, I think that comes out like, I don't want to say January, but it's not Halloween. And I'm like, how did you not time it to get it around Halloween and get the best bang for your buck? So there's also a lot of horror video games out there. I know they've discussed a new Michael Myers Halloween video game coming up. I never think those work very well. The Friday the 13th one was interesting to me, but I didn't think it worked very well. So I'm curious to see. Again, it's not coming out around Halloween, but if you're a video game guy and you're looking for something spooky to do, video game girl, Fortnitemares has been talked about. That's a big thing they do on Fortnite. And they're talking about dropping, we know we got K-pop Demon Hunters dropping. We've got Ghostface. We've got Scooby-Doo coming. Some original Fortnite characters, as well as we finally allegedly are going to have the Jason skin with the Jason medallion coming to Fortnitemares. And that should be creeping up very soon. So I know I'll be dropping money on that 100% for Fortnitemares. Those are things I like to do. Like when you think about Halloween, it's not just embracing the movies and trick-or-treating haunted house. I look at it from every angle. I've got a Halloween playlist with some Rob Zombie and Ozzy Osbourne and things on that. I've got some Halloween documentaries. Like, again, if you're not into spooky shows, check out some of the documentaries. There's Nightmares of Nature that just dropped on Netflix, and it looks at literally some of the most terrifying creatures, animals, reptiles on the planet, some of which you know about, others you don't. And it doesn't just look at them like, look at this thing, how creepy it is. It looks at them as the Cayman crocodiles or the Nile crocodiles, how vicious they are, how little they are, and how big they get, and how they hunt and what they can do. And I think that that's super fun too, because it's not necessarily creepy in the Halloween sort of sense, but it is spooky or terrifying in the way that it's real. And then of course you have all the urban legend shows and things like that where they look at specific urban legends or specific like supernatural legends. Those are always fun to do too because you don't have to believe in it. You can just suspend your mind and embrace the imagination and see what happens. I love that to me. Pumpkin beers, the end of Oktoberfest, spooky stouts. Like those are all things that when you're talking about how is Brandon embracing every aspect of Halloween, that's how he's doing it. I have certain shirts that I wear. I have Halloween socks, Halloween hoodies, not this one. Halloween t-shirts, spooky t-shirts. I have a Dracula t-shirt. I only wear it during spooky season. I have a Wolfman t-shirt. I only wear it during spooky season. That's how I embrace. And I'm looking forward to sharing that over the next couple of weeks, especially next week when I drop the episode about this weird Halloween party that a girl that honestly, she was awesome. Yeah, I'm going to get lost in that for a minute. I wish that girl was around now, but and it's a two-part. It's not a two-part episode, but it's a two-party story. So we talk about one party, and then we talk about another party. That was a Halloween party. Both of them had some really interesting, fun, crazy moments, and one of them had some wild moments with a Ouija board that I did not partake in, and the jury's still out on that, on the Ouija boards. But something happened at the end of that party, way late in the night, that had me scratch my head. So we're going to talk about that next week. But that's how I embrace the Halloween. So I hope you're ready for a whole month of awesome podcasting, horror, movies. We're going to dive into my movies. We're going to talk about some of the best new Halloween movies. We're going to talk about some of the ones that I think, quite frankly, we need to revisit and kind of look at now. And we're going to talk about some of the classics and where they came from and what they spawned from. So get ready for Halloween 2025, spooky season 2025. I'm back next week on the Life of an Average Joe podcast.